This is The Lavender Phantom, Book 1 of the Club Lavender Duet by Lainey Delaroque. Part 9, Chapters 41 to 45. For previous chapters or to start from the beginning, navigate to the playlist titled The Lavender Phantom on this channel. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel to help me produce more free audiobook stories for you. Happy listening. Chapter 41. I turn my keys in the ignition and drive off. Clutch, gas, forward, brake at a red light. Right, forward, left, stop at a stop sign. One trickle of lukewarm water reaches my belly button. I inhale deeply, trying to dislodge it. Then I jerk in my seat like a madwoman, swerving the car left and right. Finally, I park and look up. I've arrived at Frenzy Eats. Part of me dreads going in, knowing they will recognize me. Part of me wishes to create mayhem so I can see if I will feel anything. But mostly, I want donuts. I toss my burner phone to the passenger seat without looking at the screen and get out. The night air is chilly against my damp head. I walk in, thankful the chain believes junk food is a commodity needed 24/7, and join the small queue. When it's my turn to order, I peer at my cashier, his face unrecognizable under the tight cap we all have to wear. He must be new. A minute later, I hold a receipt detailing my order of a dozen ring donuts, 4 plain glazed, 4 chocolate sprinkles, and 4 lemon meringue. My sullen mind still remembers Hannah's preference of plain donuts and Melanie's obsession with the smoothness of meringue. I just need some chocolate and sprinkles in my life.
Sophie, is that you?
I hear Jamie's voice before I see his unpleasant face.
I barely recognized you. I thought you were unwell.
Do I look well? I say, instead of a greeting. I look up at the screen showing which orders are coming up. There is one before mine.
Your sick note expires at the end of this week,
He says. So sick people can't crave donuts in the middle of the night? I roll my eyes. I contemplate how oily his head looks in the fluorescent light of the restaurant. He is like the glazed hole of a donut. Then I imagine myself next to him, smiling and greeting customers, taking orders, frying chicken with one hand, and garnishing donuts with the other. That was everyday life. But for a few weeks, my lush life at Lavender has blurred my memories, making working at Frenzy Eats a thing of the past.
Number 39.
Someone shouts from behind the counter, holding my box of donuts. I sidestep Jamie to get to my comfort food.
Sophie?
He follows me. His presence annoys me, like a fruit fly, harmless but insufferable. I'm done with this too. I'm done with Lavender. I'm done with Frenzy Eats. To hell with everything. I quit, I say as I open the box and inhale the smell of fried dough and melted sugar.
Excuse me?
I quit, I repeat and take a chocolate sprinkled donut out, my hand trembling a bit. Am I still cold? I will have to crank up the heating in my car. I head for the exit.
You need to submit a resignation letter in writing.
Jamie shouts after me, his intonation like that of a whiny dog. I stuff half the donut in my mouth and chew. It's divine. I'll email you, I say between bites and leave. When I sit down in my car, the box of donuts safely on the seat next to me, I grip the wheel to stop my arms from shaking. I still feel nothing, but my body is reacting to something. I put my forehead on the wheel. A dull headache settles at the sides of my head, enveloping my temple like a torturous halo. Melanie and I have to move. There's no doubt about that. My little stint at Lavender was a complete failure. In retrospect, I'm not sure how I thought that I was qualified for the job. It was an ego stroke, the belief that I could take the pain, that I have the skills to bring the whole operation down. My employer picked the best thief of a time long gone. Somewhere along, I've lost my way. I've failed Melanie even further, depriving her of my support when she needed it most. I went from mediocre sister parent to irresponsible, thoughtless adult she can't rely on. I piled all responsibility on Hannah, someone who shoulders enough in her day job. She looks at trauma all the time. I gave her Melanie like my sister was some kind of lonely pet to be looked after while its owner is away. I can compete for the best friend award with that thinking, I snarl at myself. The sins I've committed against those two won't be easily forgiven with a box of donuts. I peer at it while my vision blurs and the tears spill out like a quiet waterfall. I don't realize I'm crying until wetness trickles down my neck, sending yet another quiver through my body. I use the back of my hand to wipe my face. My finger joints hurt from clutching the steering wheel. What about Damien, Tanya, and Matthias? I don't know them very well, but we've shared moments too intense to easily dismiss and forget. Those have left a mark on my soul, planted seeds that could later grow into friendships, attractions, and maybe more. But by leaving the way I did, without a warning or goodbye, I've destroyed those slight things, leaving the soil of my heart full of empty holes. I reach for another donut, hoping it will help me dislodge the lump that has formed in my throat. I chew as I cry, swallowing hard, the sprinkles scratching my insides on the way down. I'm not hungry anymore. Most of all, I have betrayed myself. When our parents died, I promised Melanie I would be next to her. I vowed to myself I would always put Melanie first until she became her own person and could fend for herself. As I morphed into Adrian, it was as if Sophie's promises were not mine to honor. I dived into the glamorous world of Lavender and got lost in it for what? For money. For justice. I have achieved nothing. I am nothing. Realizing that there are zero things I like about myself right now is sobering. I stop crying, and my shakes ease. It's like I have peeled the first pages off who I am as a person, and now what is left is only rough, blank paper, frayed around the edges. Something in the pocket of my dress doesn't sit right. It jabs at my side like a forgotten key. I check inside and find a piece of folded purple card. Damien or Tanya must have left it in my clothes before the party. I unfold it to find the piece of paper I doodled Lavender on that night. I flip it and see there's a post-it note stuck to it. Under the post-it, there's a haiku written in that small all-caps print. The land is frozen. No birds outside left to sing. Robin chirps alone. Out of all the things I've received from the Lavender Phantom, this is my favorite one. I resonate with it and feel a stab of pure sadness for myself. I look at my crumpled confidence with new eyes, and I pity my experience. This was meant to bring about something positive and righteous. But sometimes what you do just isn't good enough. I look at the yellow post-it note. In hurried handwriting, Damien has left me another message. I wrote this when I thought of you. It made me sad. But then I thought, isn't it time the robin stopped chirping alone? I pick up my burner phone. There are 13 missed calls from Hannah and 3 from Melanie. 2 voicemails. I glance at the car clock. If I drive to Hannah's now, I can catch them both before they go to work and school. I dial a number, dismissing all notifications. The phone rings twice before it's picked up. Hannah? There's a silence on the other end, but I know she's there. I can hear faint breathing over the deafening sound of my blood rushing in my head. I'm on my way. I'll explain everything when I get there. Wait for me. Chapter 42. Hannah, Melanie, and I sit around Hannah's kitchen table, the box of donuts between us like a tether to normality. No one has said anything yet. How are you, Lainey? I ask tentatively. She looks down.
Let's talk about it later. Hannah has had enough drama for a decade after that nightmare.
That's true,
Hanako says. I glance at the time. Melanie has to leave for school in about an hour. If I'm to explain things, I have to talk fast. I open my mouth.
Explain the bruise on your face first.
Melanie says. I got hit. It's the truth. But I need to start at the beginning if you want any of this to make sense. Melanie leans forward. Hannah opens the box of donuts and pushes it toward my sister.
Eat while she talks. It sounds like you won't get time for a proper breakfast,
She says and takes a plain glazed donut. I begin my story. The words come hard at first, but then it all spills like the frantic tale of a madman. I tell them of my anger, of how I thought I would get revenge for Melanie. I don't tell them about the job. The brigand wraith will be buried again after this conversation. I speak about the stranger in the freezer, and the girl who was aloof at first, but watched over me. They learn about Valerie and Penelope. I spare them the details about Brad's threats, reducing him to just one part of Valerie's goons. I tell them of the private rooms, of the cultural appropriation and the spiked drinks, of the expectation of sexual favors. I'm careful with my language, hopeful I won't trigger something within Melanie. She listens while chewing, her expression betraying nothing. I outline my attempts to get hard evidence on the wrongdoings in Lavender and describe the safes and the cameras. I skip the truth of Matthias's inventions. Tanya warned me they were secret, so I keep it so. I skirt over the recent party, providing only a rough base. There was a gang, and they treated people like property. Damien's involvement in this is difficult to explain. I paint him as an ally, explain how he is connected to Thomas the Nightingale and Penelope. Hannah raises an eyebrow but stays silent. I finish with how they let me go, and that Melanie and I have to move for everyone's safety. This part forces a shadow on both their faces. Do they not get what a shitstorm I've created? Any questions? I ask when the dark mood goes on longer than is comfortable. We have about 20 minutes left together. My mouth is dry, so I take a sip of the water Hannah provided before I started my story. We need to iron out our misunderstandings so I can go back to our apartment and pack up our essential belongings. I want to leave as soon as possible. It will be the two of us again, driving somewhere new in the orange Honda.
That Damien sounds like the man who saved me. I remember feeling a sharp pain in my wrist when he grabbed me. I was drowsy then, but after that, as he kept shouting for me to run, I heard him, and I was out of there. What will happen to the singing boy? To his son?
Melanie's question is unexpected. So Damien had used one of Matthias's rings to help her. I owe them all more than I thought. I don't know. Nothing, I assume, as long as his father behaves. I'm not confident Damien has much restraint left in him. He looked ready to fight Brad on the stage.
We have to save them both,
she says with a determined nod. What? I blink. We have to run, not make more self-destructive attempts at heroism. After my crying in the car, I know the next steps we need to take. None of them include going back to Lavender.
We have to get them out. It's only fair. Hide the boy,
she elaborates. No, I say. But I know she has a point. I also know that whatever decision I make, I betray someone.
I agree with Mel.
Hannah joins in after a brief silence.
From all you've said, it sounds like that boy is the only thing keeping the hostage guy on a leash. The other two allies you mentioned, they follow his lead, correct? Which means if he acts, they will join him. Melanie is right. We need to get the Nightingale out, so those three can get serious.
No, I'll fail again. There's no way to get him out. And I don't know how long I'll have to keep him safe. Melanie and I have to get out of here. Do you expect me to take him with us? They'll just follow us. Hannah levels a glance at me. I can tell she's considering it. Then her face changes.
I see how it is,
she says.
Why do you not let people help you, Sophie?
I shake my head. I can't put anyone else in danger after all my previous plans failed. I'm no chief. I can't protect anyone. If anything, I need protecting from my stupid ideas.
You included no one else, Soph. And I have an idea how we can get the nightingale out.
Melanie says, letting out an exasperated sigh.
Stop glaring at me. It will be safe, I promise.
Let's hear it first. I relent only to pacify her. She has to go out in 10 minutes anyway. We will leave, but she doesn't have to miss school for it. We will slip out in the evening. Hannah starts another donut. They are going down much better than I expected.
So don't be mad, but I'm still talking to that girl, Purple Tsuki. She was very apologetic about the whole thing that happened. She's been helping me avoid the guys in the black suits.
My blood chills. I'm not the only one living a life of secrets, it seems. My employer has a lot to answer for. And the goons? Those gangsters? They've kept looking for her? She has seen them? I can't believe you hid this from me, I whisper.
I can't believe you hid everything else from me,
she counters.
At least mine isn't premeditated.
I press my lips into a thin line. It's difficult to argue against that.
Anyway, she claims she knows a good hacker.
Melanie continues.
I bet she can help us get in touch with the boy, or at least she can tell us where he is, so we can pick him up and stash him somewhere safe.
I don't like this. But if it's only asking, and if they've been communicating for so long anyway without anything happening, I guess it can't hurt. Fine. I take another sip of water. But do nothing without clearing it with me first. Chatting is fine. Do not meet anyone. Do not go anywhere but here and school.
I'm not an idiot.
She rolls her eyes. When she goes to change for school, I dial my employer. We've never talked, but I hope they will pick up. The line rings and then goes dead. I get a message soon after. Are you still doing the job or not? Valerie paid you off so you can't go back. I ignore the question. Why are you still talking to Melanie? I told you to leave her alone. The reply is fast. That's not me. It's Suki. How many of them are there? Am I being played? Another message comes. Your sister is looking for Thomas. Why? I pause to think for a moment, then type furiously. We might have a new plan forming. It might not involve getting the ledgers, but we hope we might save Thomas. It's a bit of a lie. I still want to get in the car and disappear. But I don't want to sabotage my sister's idea. We will see where it leads, though I'm not too hopeful. Suki will be in touch with your sister. Stop working alone. You're bad at it. I roll my eyes. I hate it. But my employer is right. Doubt in my next steps creeps in. My employer has been resourceful so far, despite being weird all around. Melanie wants to help. Tanya and Matthias are doing what they can anyway. Damien asked me to join them.
You should go for it.
Hannah says with a stuffed mouth. What?
Whatever you're thinking about, you should go for it. I'll help you.
But you don't know what I'm thinking about.
No, but I'm a good friend, and I'm smart and patient. We can figure this thing out together.
She smiles, and I can't help but smile back. Together. If you're not strong enough, you have to lean on others and let them lean on you so you can be strong together. Chief's words float in my mind again. Maybe I can postpone leaving Chicago just a bit. Maybe I can give it another go without trying to be a lone wolf this time. Maybe I should listen to Chief's wisdom. Chapter 43. When Melanie leaves, the apartment seems to close in on me. Hannah's standing in the kitchen doorway, leaning on the doorframe. I like her apartment. Much nicer than I can provide for Melanie right now. Maybe that's why I jumped at the idea of her staying here. It hasn't helped her nightmares, though. Letting her get involved in the entire Lavender thing might be another grave mistake I'm committing. Or it might be a step in the right direction. Maybe she needs to face her issues head on. Maybe she needs justice to move forward. I haven't actually asked her what she needs. I only know she wants me by her side.
She is young, but she is not a small child anymore, you know.
Hana says.
She's not stupid. Coddling her will only stint her growth.
What do you know about parenting? I smile.
More than you.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you, I mutter. I pull out the envelope Valerie gave me. Here's for looking after Lainey for so long, for utility bills and food and God knows what else you got her to spoil her. Hana frowns but takes it.
You know I don't need money. We should use it for the plan.
It's true. Her mother's a famous artist, and weird contemporary Japanese art apparently pays well. What plan? I ask.
The one we're brewing. But before that, I need to know more about Lavender. It didn't seem like a simple story to tell, but you were very brief with your explanation. There were glaring gaps in your story,
She says.
Tell me about this Damien.
I sigh. Of course she would pick up on it. We aren't friends for nothing. I sit back down at the table. Hana makes some green jasmine tea as I speak. I don't know. He is very attractive. I start. She nods enthusiastically. You know I'm shallow in my attraction, and his face and body are all definitely my type. But there is something else that keeps drawing me to him. His normal character seems to be very chill. But when he's pushed into a corner, he has this air of danger around him.
How you're describing him doesn't paint him in a brilliant light. Does this mean if you make him angry, he'd snap at you?
Hana sits down and passes me a cup of steamy warmth. I shake my head. I'm not good at explaining how I feel. More so when I've processed none of the events from last night. Instead of circling around, trying to describe the emotions Damien stirs within me, I tell her about my time in the freezer, then the events on the night of my incident. I tell her about the notes and the bad poetry. I spare no detail about last night. As the words tumble out, I find a strange detachment between me and Adrienne. It's as if I'm describing an erotic movie. Hana listens, her body leaning in closer with every juicy point of my tale. When I finish, she whoops.
What a story. He sounds like a total dom. And I love that you've committed to this lock-picking hobby of yours. But are you confident with it?
Her next question is unsurprising but also uncomfortable. Maybe it's not the time to bury the brigand wraith quite yet. Yes. I've gotten even better now. It's fun, I add as I'm not ready to delve into the specifics. It's safer if everyone thinks I'm just a normal girl with a short fuse.
Do you think you could open the safe in the office if you had the chance?
Hana asks. I nod.
Good. What are we expecting to find there?
Some hard evidence, I hope. A paper ledger or a USB or hard drive with people's details. Anything that the police could take to court, I say, when my phone vibrates violently on the table, squelching any further questioning, startling us both. It's Melanie. Hello? I look at the time. She is probably on a break between classes.
We found him.
She whispers, her tone jubilant.
He doesn't go to school, but he is part of a private tutor group. I can infiltrate it as a student.
I'm happy, then frozen in fear. What? No infiltrating. We can think of something else.
Relax.
She says. I don't relax.
I'm not going anywhere alone. But we need to get to him so we can get him out without alerting whoever's keeping him prisoner.
I let out the breath I was holding with my whole body. Okay, come straight home after school. She agrees and hangs up. I'm both afraid for her and proud of her, I say to Hana.
She takes after you. Let's think about what we can do with the people we can count on.
Hana gives me a conspiratorial wink. I bite my lip. Both of them have now embraced making this future plan work, ignoring my warnings. Their reaction to my story, their lack of judgment, has planted a kernel of hope in my heart. My resolve to run away with Melanie morphs from definitely to maybe. Now turns into later. If we can pull this off, I can leave with a cleaner conscience,
Listen, if we get the boy out, we should aim to free the others and get the evidence.
Hannah says as she refills our mugs with hot tea. Isn't that too dangerous? Maybe we should leave that to Damien and his friends. If we secure Thomas, he'll be free.
If we have the advantage of surprise, though, we should push it.
Hannah, I love you, but I can't go back. And I definitely can't let you go instead of me, I say. I was right. There are people there who terrify me. I want to run. The nightmares that scared you so much the other night only exist because Melanie went to that place. She processes my words.
I'm sorry they hurt you both. That can never be forgiven.
She nods like she has reached some unspoken conclusion.
But I disagree.
I open my mouth to protest, but she lifts a palm, silencing me.
Melanie went there alone. You went there alone. You both got hurt because you were facing an enemy that has an army while you had nothing. We probably won't bring down the gang, but we can close Lavender down. We can save a boy and his father. We can make sure vulnerable people aren't raped anymore in that one place. Will it make an enormous difference in the trafficking world? Probably not. But for those few people we help, it will make a massive difference.
It's a compelling argument. The kernel of hope within me grows, encouraged by Hannah's passionate words. She's right, of course. I just don't know if we can pull it off. I know that. But how do we do it?
We gather our own army.
I stare into the distance. Maybe it's time the robin stops chirping alone.
I can see the cogs turning in your head,
Hannah says with a smile.
So, our army. We have the people inside Lavender, the Nightingale, his dad, your new girlfriend, and the doctor. Then we have the awesome kinky duo, you and me. Your sister is also on it now and will help. Lastly, we have the Switzerland of Lavender, the barman without obvious allegiance. Would be good if we can get him on our side, or at least learn more about him.
You really listened, I say, impressed. I guess you are right. We have several people who have an interest in bringing Lavender down. Do you have a plan?
I have the outlines of a plan. We have time, so we put our heads together and we think.
Hannah says as she slurps her tea loudly. She has always been a quiet, humble person in my ropes. She's a bubbly friend with a penchant for unicorns. But I never imagined her as a heist mastermind.
And we have the funds you earned with your silence. I suggest we spend them to ensure no one has to keep such pain inside anymore.
My phone blinks with a new message. It's Matthias asking if I'm okay. Seeing his message, the kernel of hope breaks through the shell of its seed and sprouts a small stem. I type up a quick message. I'm okay. I can't go back to Lavender, but I have another plan. I'll call you tomorrow. I turn back to Hannah. She has a look of focused determination.
First part of the plan is to kill that girl.
I blink. I'm not down for killing anyone. Which girl?
For my plan to work, Sophie needs to come back,
She says.
We need the attentive rigger Sophie, the masochist, and the lockpicker Sophie. I need you to be your strongest self who can pull anything off. I need you to kill Adrian.
Chapter 44. Sophie, as Hannah adamantly suggested, definitely came back. I went to the drugstore, got a box of hair dye that I thought matched my natural hair color, and 2 hours later I was drying my blondish locks. Red is difficult to get out without bleach, so I have a sheen of copper in my hair. It's not ugly, and I don't mind, but it reminds me of how Adrian and Sophie have blended. Adrian won't disappear so easily. As Hannah helped me with my hair, we worked out the specifics of the plan, making sure every piece fits and that we'll have enough people to cover all our bases. When Melanie comes back from school, she looks far better than she did in the morning. There's a spring in her step and an excited glint in her eyes. Any other news? I ask.
Suki said we need to wait for his mother to leave, and for him to be allowed to go out again. It should be soon, but we need to hang on until we get more info.
That's a good thing. I don't want to deal with Penelope as well as all the others. Hannah and I discussed where to stash the Nightingale until things with Lavender are resolved. and we have decided that one of her shelters is the best idea. They were built exactly for that. Victims of domestic violence, seeking refuge. After Melanie has a quick snack, we all make a list of errands we need to run before we can pull off the plan. We decide I have to stay in and play wartime secretary, calling all our battle units and kindly letting them know they are now part of the fight. Melanie and Hannah climb into her car to acquire the things that will eventually ensure the success of our plan. Hidden microphones that can fit on clothes are on top of the list. Communication is essential. And while we all have phones, having a covert way for us to coordinate our actions is better. Hannah insists on picking up some clothes, too, so we can all dress for our parts. We're not only getting justice, we'll do it in style. When I'm alone in the apartment, I call Matthias. The conversation with him is short and sweet. I tell him about the plan, and he agrees it just might work. Will Damien be able to sneak out? I ask, trying to ensure a key piece of our puzzle fits.
He will if he knows Thomas is safe.
He will be. You, my friend, and my sister are going to ensure he travels to a safe place without problems, I reassure him.
I hope so. We tried some time ago to get him out but failed.
That's why we have 3 people securing Thomas. For every other task, we have a person for each. I know that his escape is vital to our success. Another one of Damien's people is overseeing the technical side of the whole thing. This seems to convince him. He promises to ensure his and Damien's participation in our little heist, confirming that the safes in the office definitely have incriminating evidence. Even if we don't get all we want, we can take Thomas from the clutches of Penelope and her family. Damien can walk free. That will be a victory. Matthias and I agree on a time to meet tomorrow for me to pass him some items. He gives me Tanya's number before I disconnect the call. It's odd I have never asked her for it. I dial it, bracing myself for an unknown something. It rings long and loud until I put it down and sigh. I will try again in a bit. She has a crucial role to play. The plan itself is like a beautiful puzzle. It satisfies several important prerequisites, ensuring we have a higher chance of success and a smaller chance of additional trauma. Melanie will do her part far away from Lavender, together with Hannah and Matthias. We believed she was the most sensible choice for convincing the Nightingale to follow her. Teens and preteens speak a language almost foreign to us all. Tanya is to be our ace on the fighting front. She has a role to play in freeing Damien, getting the evidence, and ensuring the overall Lavender downfall. Damien himself will help me get in and lockpick without disruptions by visiting an acquaintance in the hospital so that things are safer for us all. Innocent thoughts about Damien helping us lead to other, far more shallow, carnal thoughts. I bite my lip as I replay last night in my head. I erase Penelope and the crowd from the reel of my memory and obliterate Brad's presence. There's just Damien left, his body pressed to mine, his tongue exploring my mouth, his big, beautiful hands running up and down my sides as if he can't get enough of me. The feeling is mutual. I lick my lips as I remember the motion of his hips. In my mind, I will his inside me, pushing me to the edge again and again. I close my eyes, and my hand travels down my belly, toward my pelvis. I feel the pull of desire between my legs, the aching heat that punctuates my craving. I give in. My fingers find their way inside my panties, and with a sigh, I circle my clit, my one-track mind still replaying images of Damien behind my eyelids. I know my body well, so the yearning for release builds up to a sweet peak. I moan as I move, each stroke of my knowing fingers getting me closer to the top. Just as I'm about to reach it and hold with the hunger of a deviant, my phone rings. My body jerks with surprise, and the closeness to my culmination evaporates. It's as if I have slid down a roller coaster backward, unable to go over the curve and downward toward that mind-blowing shot of adrenaline. It's Tanya. I pick up with a pant. My pleasuring hand has contracted in a claw. I pull it out of my pants and go to the sink to wash it as I talk to her. Matthias has briefed her, and she's on board, only questioning my motives. I tell her briefly we have new allies joining the fight.
You will get us all killed,
she says instead of a goodbye, but her voice holds no malice or fear. Maybe this is just how she talks. I look out the window and see a car pull up downstairs. Feeling the frustration of orgasm denial, I go down to help Melanie and Hannah with the shopping. They've been successful at getting all things but one, a leather jacket that Hannah was adamant I needed. I can lockpick without a jacket, I say. It's less restricting. I'm fine with a cardigan.
I get it, but I wanted you to look more cool vigilante and less working mother who forgot to check if she left the iron on.
Hannah says, her shoulders dropping. I give her a quick hug before relieving Melanie of a massive bag. Trust me, I can rock a cardigan. Chapter 45. Dinner and an episode of a show I didn't pay attention to later. Melanie and I get ready for bed together properly for the first time in weeks. We brush our teeth together and wash our faces. We use some of Hannah's Korean skincare without telling her, snickering like thieves. It's a surreal moment of normality. It's both heartwarming and a little strange. Melanie settles down under the covers, her face the only thing showing. She smiles.
When we're done with the club, can we go back to being normal sisters?
I shift my eyes to meet hers as I comb my hair in front of the fancy dressing table Hannah has put in the guest room. We will, I reply, although we've never been normal. Are you sure you want to go through with this plan? I'm happy to sleep, pick up our stuff at the apartment, and leave Chicago behind.
I don't want to leave Chicago,
she says. I sigh. What are these nightmares you've been having? Maybe they will stop if we move. A fresh start is good sometimes. She shakes her head.
I'm remembering some things. I think I was drugged for the worst of it, but there are parts that are coming back.
I stand up to join her on the bed. I touch the top of her head gently. Sit up. I'll brush your hair. She shuffles up.
It's not all bad,
she whispers.
You know how I told you I remember the Nightingale song? I also have flashing images of him pulling me away from those people and us running down a corridor. It has this soft, lush carpet. Someone must have pried him away because in my next memory, I'm in someone's arms, thrashing about. Then there was this man, your Damien, I assume, shouting at me to run. I'm not scared of him. I know he meant well. Everything from then on is blurry again, but I think he was fighting someone. I might have made up parts of it, to be honest. Anyway, my head cleared on the way home.
You poor girl, I say, as I press her back to my chest and inhale the scent of her hair. It's familiar and sweet, like fresh strawberries and yogurt in the summer. I kiss her head as we rock in silence.
I don't want to move,
Melanie repeats.
I have friends here, and I like the city. I like my school.
What do you like about it? I smile, because this is very unlike how I felt about school.
The teachers are friendly. My classmates are fine, I guess. There's no bullying.
Best school review ever. I wink and finish brushing her hair. We both lie down. I reach to switch off the bedside lamp, but my hand still's in the air. What did you mean that day in the car?
Which part?
You cut me off when I promised you I would be the best sister. You said I didn't get it. Melanie is silent for a moment. I gaze at her face, every line reminding me of our parents. Does she remember them well enough to know she has the shape of Mom's eyes? Or that her red, full lips are what Dad always said won Mom over?
I don't need the best sister. I need you,
Melanie says, then props herself on an elbow, looking all serious.
What even is a best sister?
I don't know, I admit. I haven't figured it out. I'm trying.
Ugh.
Melanie huffs.
This is what I mean. Stop thinking about it. You might as well ponder the meaning of life. I loved you because you were always next to me. But gradually you started working more, and I was seeing you less and less. I made one mistake by going to Lavender, and then you punished me by disappearing from my life.
I blink. Her words are like daggers digging deep into my heart. My stomach lurches forward as if I've been ejected from a plane and I'm falling fast. I never meant to punish her. I wanted to obliterate the very thing that hurt her. I'm so sorry, Melanie, I whisper, tears welling in my eyes. I thought going away would give you space. I thought fighting against Lavender was good for both of us. I will not leave you anymore. I promise. How can I make it better? Melanie's eyes are dry. Her face is solemn, like there is some truth she has made her peace with while I'm still struggling to understand.
Like this.
She leans forward to embrace me. Her slim arms wrap around my shoulders, and I break down, the tears streaming down my cheeks in rivulets.
Don't shut me out. Talk to me and stop deciding what's best for the both of us by yourself. We are sisters, and we're in this together. Even if you think I'm too young, tell me. I will understand. If I don't understand, I will listen.
I sob in Melanie's arms, her words unleashing a torrent of emotions I thought I was incapable of feeling only hours ago.
We're a team, and we only have each other. Let's carry the weight of the world together,
she says, and squeezes me hard. I gasp mid-cry and envelop my arms around her waist, squeezing just as hard. We hold each other for a moment. Then she taps my shoulder.
Okay, don't flatten me.
I ease my grip, but keep my arms around her, embracing her warmth and the feeling of safety this tangle of our bodies brings upon me.
I think we should sleep,
she whispers in my ear.
But one last thing. I like that you're not perfect. I know you're flawed. I know you left your gang friends when Mom and Dad died to care for me. I know how much you sacrificed to build this life we have. And I can see you're ready to throw it all away again. But let's not. Let's fight and win and keep our lives here.
You knew about the gang? My voice is hoarse, the back of my throat closed from crying.
I was young, not stupid. I watched you fight with Mom and Dad about it from my room,
she says. Sneaky child. I shake my head. Then, with sudden conviction, I decide to tell her the truth of our financial situation. She listens, her eyes widening as my words spill out.
So, we're not poor.
She is so surprised she has brought her hand to her mouth. Not poor, but not rich either. The two savings accounts have their purpose, so we can't just take from them any time. One is for your college, the other is a rainy day fund or if I decide to start a business. I don't tell her about my dreams to open up a rope studio because I still think she's too young. Maybe when she's 16. And yes, I'm supposed to own the building we have our apartment in, but I never got the deed. I looked for that old man. Do you remember him? The one who welcomed us to Chicago? But I could never find him again. No idea who's collecting the rents from the other units, but it's not us.
Well, I really hate to rub it in, but if you'd trusted me with this, I wouldn't have gone to Lavender.
Melanie says softly. It's not a jab or an insult. It's just a fact. I know. I promise I won't keep big things from you anymore. You've grown up, and I didn't notice it.
Must be that milk mustache photo on your phone.
She giggles.
Let's take a new one.
And we do. It's a dark, grainy selfie, but I love it, because it's us, and we're smiling. I turn the light off, and for once, the room descends into a comfortable darkness, devoid of monsters and nightmares.
I love you,
Melanie whispers next to me. I search for her hand in the sheets. Her fingers interlace with mine, and I sniffle. Wiping my face with my other hand, I whisper back, I love you too, teammate. This was part 9 of The Lavender Phantom, book 1 of the Club Lavender Duet by Lainey Delaroque. To listen to the final 5 chapters, please navigate to the next video. All parts of this audiobook are available in the playlist The Lavender Phantom on this YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. Like and comment to help get this book in front of more readers, and subscribe to the channel to avoid missing out. See you in the next part.